So one of the things that I really value about Portico is the focus on not just student engagement, but student voice, and working with leaders, not so that we have, another poster that says how important student voice is, but really looking at the practices within the building and asking those questions. How are we valuing student voice? How are we creating space for that feedback? And how do we know we're hearing from all students? Sometimes it's easy to think we know what someone would say or what their experience is, but how are we allowing for authentic feedback for students to provide that feedback? In what ways in our work do we allow space for the diversity within the student experience? It's easy to listen to the experiences and the feedback of the dominant or majority group, but what about the students where maybe there's just a few of them, or that experience is only represented by a smaller population? How are we incorporating that into our decision making and how it informs the programming and curriculum that we're using with our students? I value not just looking at student voice, but doing it with an equity lens. How are we including all voices in the process? And this isn't a thing where, again, we just have checklists and we go in with like the script. Okay, principal, here's what you do. The principal gets to be a part of this. They are informing the discussions and the decisions that are being made based on what is real and true in their building. What makes the most sense for where their students and families are in terms of the shifts that they want to make. A lot of times you can have coaching or participate in a program that outlines what you're supposed to do and how you do it, but there's no space. It's not adaptive to what's really going on real time in the building. And Portico allows our administrators and leaders to do just that, really be responsive to what's going on. And it's not like you just get to shirk something off like, oh, we don't have time for that, because there's still accountability. But there are some really meaningful discussions around it in terms of how are things being prioritized, who's included, who's impacted by the decisions. And it's just that additional layer to help the administrators think through their choices and how they're leading in their buildings. I like the willingness to allow the administrators to push back. Especially when it comes to work in equity, it's about being real and authentic. What do you have the capacity to do? And there's space. Like, you don't have to do this performative thing. You get to be real. Okay, here's what we can handle right now. Here's what we can't. And then you have your coaches to help work with you so that you can build a plan and hopefully over time build capacity to continue doing more and more. But that's probably honestly one of my favorite things about Portico, is that it's real and it allows leader to show up in a really authentic way.